Hey everybody, it's Lego My Django here, and today I want to talk about something that's just a little bit overdue, which is the Clone Wars. I really wanted to do a full review on it after the Season 6 came out on Netflix, which I watched right when it came out too. But I really want to talk about it. So, the Clone Wars, one of my favorite, and it is my favorite TV show that has ever been on television. It's not the best by far, but it is my favorite. And there's many haters of this show, but there's many people who love it a lot like I do. So I kind of want to talk about how I like it, and also a documentary came out on StarWars.com and their YouTube channel about stuff that would have been released if they would have been able to do a full Season 6, and it's kind of sad to watch. But here we go. So, the Clone Wars. I watched the movie in theaters with my friends on my birthday. I thought it was really cool. The only thing that I didn't like is how they showed off the clones. They seemed to be more free-spirited, but they really did explain it throughout the entire series how they were programmed to follow any order, but you can't program a human being's mind to the point where they're not able to disobey something. I mean, you can influence it, but I mean, it makes sense where they over time became more free-spirited, and that's why in the end they were replaced by stormtroopers. Now, originally, I'm pretty sure it was said that stormtroopers were clone troopers in Battlefront. That's what it describes it as. Nobody goes by that theory, though. So, it's the dumbest thing ever. They can't just all lose their aim, and then maybe the officers. The officers would make sense because they just get older, and that's what it is in the original trilogy. But after that, so I watched all the seasons. I loved every episode that came out. I would watch it. Not usually when on the day it came out, because we had a DVR and it would just record it. We don't even have that anymore. But I really liked a lot of episodes. You know, some stick true, which are the Mandalorian episodes, along with many other people. Those are my favorite episodes. Those last 3 episodes and Season 5 with, Death Watch and Maul. Very well done. I was actually really pissed off that, pardon my French, as some would say, because there's not a lot of cussing on this channel, but, I was ticked off that they didn't do a 4-episode arc on their most important arc to ever exist in the Clone Wars. They didn't do 4 episodes. And then they did 4 episodes with, one before. They did 4 episodes for the droid arc with, when they went to the Void and stuff. And it had that awesome explosion at the end. But you don't do 4 episodes on that. That's a little... I mean, it was funny. It was a cool little thing. But you can't do 4 episodes on something that's boring. I'm just gonna say it wasn't like the most exciting thing to watch. It's droids with that commander guy, that frog commander guy. I don't want to watch 4 episodes on that. At the max 3. You can't make that great a story out of that. You can make a greater story out of a guy from the Phantom Menace being resurrected from the dead, essentially, and destroying this Jedi's mind by killing the person that he would have liked to love or left the Jedi Order for. And my friend, oh my god, I saw it coming. I did see it coming. Spoiler alert. When Satine dies, my friend was like, that's it. Because he was watching it on Netflix. He's like, I'm not watching any more Clone Wars. He did, but he was so upset because he wanted Obi-Wan and them to get together or something. But besides the point. So another thing, to all haters out there, I don't know a lot about comic books. But I can say this. So, Star Wars, the original trilogy, was written and directed by George Lucas, not influenced by anything whatsoever. It was created as a movie and shot, as a movie, story for the movie, 3 movies come out, and that's what it is. Okay? No comic books. After that, comic books and books start getting written because it's so awesome. Now, I don't know if the prequels were influenced by any books or anything like that. I don't think they were, and I don't think George Lucas would have cared. So, once again, 3 more movies written and directed by George Lucas. Then, a lot of comics about Clone Wars and, the Clone Wars era. This TV show comes out, and people who love comics get pissed off because it's not like the comics. Even though any other story that George Lucas has done hasn't been based off of the comics, they get pissed off that this TV show isn't based off of the comics. Now, I know some stuff happens that isn't, directly what happens with the movies, but you can't make an exciting TV show if some of the stuff isn't to happen, like Anakin facing General Grievous. It's just how it works. You can't hate the show because of that. You can't not watch the show because of that. If you are, you're a prick. Because you can't just not watch something just because it doesn't follow how you thought it would go in your head. You can't go into stuff like that, or it's going to be ruined for you. You can't go into movies like that, or it's just going to be ruined for you. Same thing with books. You can't read a book and then go into the movie expecting it to be like how you thought it was in the book. I don't. The Harry Potters, now I did watch... Okay, that's not a good example for me. The Hunger Games. Read all the books before the movie came out. I like the movies a lot. They did copy off of the books very well. They did a very good job. It is more enjoyable actually if you've read the books because there's some extra stuff that happens. But it doesn't. You can't influence your thoughts about a movie or a TV show from what was written before it came out and said that it wasn't going to be influenced by it. So there's my rant on comics and people hating the Clone Wars because of comics. So yeah. Now season 6, or the bonus season, I'd like to call it, of the Clone Wars that came out on Netflix. So awesome. It wrapped up the Clone Wars in a perfect way. The Camino arc and the arc with Yoda, are the two to note. The one with the banking clan, something in it I can't remember was inclination that it was like an older one. I think it was something like even Anakin had his old robes, or it was like, I don't know, it's like Captain Rex had like Phase 1 armor. It was something really weird where you could show or you could see. Oh yeah, okay, I remember what it is now. You could tell that this was an older episode because I'm sorry if I'm getting his name wrong. Ian McClellan. I don't know. I forgot his name. I apologize. He played Lord Sidious, or Chancellor Palpatine, throughout most of the huge majority of the Clone Wars series. He died in season 5. I think the last episodes he did, I'm pretty sure, were the Mandalorian arc. I'm pretty sure those were his last episodes. And after that, it was this really weird sounding voice with the Ahsoka arc when she was put on trial where he goes, Ahsoka Tano. Yeah, it was really bad. I did not like it. Ian McClellan, if I'm getting his name correct, was a lot better at doing the Lord Sidious voice. I thought he was very deceptive. It was really cool. It was like a caring voice, but it wasn't, if that makes sense. But, so, with that, going back to what I was originally talking about, the Banking Clan episode, that had the old Lord Sidious voice in it, so you could tell that it was an older episode. And we saw this arc, like we saw that preview where that one bounty hunter with the hat, I forgot his name, dang it, but he was chasing them down like a snow mountain. We saw that in a trailer or something at Comic-Con all the way back at like the end of season 4, at the beginning of season 5. And I don't understand why that just wasn't stuck in the middle of season 5. I mean, it would have just fit in there. I mean, that's why it was just in season 6, because it was done and they had never released it. And you could tell it had been done for a while. So that was really weird to just see thrown in season 6. Otherwise, the thing with the witch from Dothamir, I think that's how you said that. That was kind of cool how they wrapped her up a little bit with that ancient civilization or whatever that Jar Jar Binks, or was it Jar Jar Binks that went there? Okay, well, nobody likes him, so that's not. Besides Jar Jar Binks being in the episode, that was cool too, how they wrapped her up. But definitely the Camino arc and the Yoda arc at the end stand out with, Fives learning about what happened to, about how they have the inhibitor chips in their heads that eventually lead to Order 66. And the clones were very close to figuring out, and that was really cool how they contacted, Lord Tyrannus, which is Count Dooku, and they still didn't quite understand. It was cool to see how the Kaminoans still didn't quite understand. It was confusing because I couldn't tell if they knew what Order 66 did. Oh, wait, yeah, I remember how this did. Sorry, a lot of remembering in this video happening. It was like they were it was a order programmed if a Jedi went rogue. That's what it was. That's what Lord Tyrannus told them, and they didn't want the Jedi to figure out about that or anybody else. So, yeah, and that was cool how when Fives talked to Chancellor Palpatine, he framed him too. But that was really cool how they ended that, and got to see all of the rookies, the rookie squad, I forgot what it was called, dang it, die. All of them died, and that's pretty sad to see, but it kind of makes sense, so we don't have to see them in the third movie. And then the Yoda arc, really cool. Really got to see the inside of the Force, and I really liked that. If that didn't follow any comics, yeah, screw you guys. I'm very happy it didn't. And I really liked how they wrapped it up with Lord Sidious and Count Dooku, like, fighting him in, like, from far away, and, like, Master Sifo-Dyas, like, trying to deceive him, but Yoda figured it out. That was really cool, and the best thing about the 6th season, the bonus season, was that it wasn't the actual music, but it was the music from just Star Wars in the Clone Wars format, and it fit very well. I wanted to hear that forever, and it fit very well. And the last thing I'd like to talk about is the end of Season 5. Kind of going backwards here, but the end of Season 5 with Ahsoka leaving the Jedi Council. Once again, I kind of called it. I mean, they're not going to kill her. And she can't stay in the Jedi Council. It wouldn't make any sense. It would not make any sense, and that's the only thing that I kind of be pissed off about that's not in relation to the movies. I think that was the best thing to do. Very sad music too, and I think it was the best ending. I mean, yeah, it was the best ending that you could have done for season 5 until we realized that there wasn't going to be another season, and then that's when it kind of was like, oh my god, really, really, and then we got another season 2 technically, so that's good. I mean, that's good. I would have hated to just have it stop there. That awful. But yeah, it was a really good ending, I think. Very sad, but a very good, heart-taking, that's a word, ending to a TV show. And yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot more things I could talk about, but I just want to talk about like a few more things here. So in that documentary, they talked about Utapau and how they were going to have some episodes in Utapau, and they were going to show how Anakin's getting darker and that he's sad that Ahsoka's gone. Some really cool stuff. And then, yeah, that was pretty much it. I mean, that was pretty much all they talked about, and just how Clone Wars was a big impact on the Clone Wars canon, or the Star Wars canon, and even George Lucas, that's the last thing that he totally was involved in. Now, I'm not like some person who's like, oh, George Lucas, I hate him so much for, like I just said, he did an excellent job with the Clone Wars on what he helped with. He was directly involved with a lot of things. I don't care what a lot of people say. He said to do a lot of stuff, like in the documentary they talked about, hey, can you make a Godzilla? Sure we can, let's do that. There's just stuff that he couldn't do without animation, and I mean, that's important, and I think that that was the last good thing that he did, and screw all of you who drove him away from Star Wars. I mean, it's all your fault. I mean, he would have eventually sold it anyway, but maybe he could have held on to it longer. And then now we have the 7th movie, but I'm going to talk about that in a different video. So, I hope you guys enjoyed my ramble and rants about the Clone Wars and how much I loved it as a TV show. But yeah, I've been Lego My Django. Please check out some of my other Lego content. New stop motion's coming soon. I'm actually have filmed 2 scenes I mean, they're not finished at all, but I've filmed 2 scenes for a funny little stop motion coming up called the Death Star Imperial Tour. So if you've watched the entire video, you know that I'm making a funny little stop motion called the Imperial Death Star Tour. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed. Please like the video if you did, and I'll see you guys later.